Hi, I'm Laura. I'm the artist at Moontime Collective and also the creator of the Make Your Own Mushroom Terrarium project. If you're watching this, it's probably because you got one of these Make Your Own Mushroom Terrarium kits, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But remember, the whole point of this is to create your own little world, so you don't have to follow my instructions, and you can also add extra things, maybe if you have a favorite shiny rock or a cool stick, and you don't have to use everything that's in the bag. And if you want to make another, remember you can always order more from my Instagram account, which is at Moontime Collective. I also do private events and parties, so if you want, you can book me to come and set up the whole table. I set it up like a funny little tea party. Bring enough mushroom bases and enough jars for all your guests to make one. And before we get started, there's some optional items you can use. A spoon might be helpful, or you might have a tiny spoon like what I use at the tea parties. Tweezers might be helpful if you need to grab anything really small. I also really like to use just a wooden skewer, and this is really good for moving things around in your jar once you have it in there. I find this is actually my favorite tool for making terrariums. Alright, let's get started. So you've just gotten make your own mushroom terrarium. First, let's see what's inside. You have your jar and the mushroom base that you probably chose. This is a single red one, but there's also other varieties, like the turkey tail variety, the mysterious blue ones, purple ones, and others. Today I really like this little group of red mushrooms, so that's the one I'm going to use for the demonstration. There's moss, and this is art grade moss, so you don't have to worry about watering it. There's rocks and stones, and then there's the gravel, shiny little diamonds, and amethyst, which is upcycled. There's the instructions, so you can look at that, or you can just follow along in the video. And there's everything you need to make your very own terrarium. Alright, take your jar, and I recommend putting your mushroom base in the jar, like that. I recommend using the gravel first, because this holds down the felt base and gives your terrarium some stability. So I'll just pour that in until I think there's enough. Notice I don't use all of it, but you can. Next, I add a big stick. Checking to see I like the placement. And let's look at the rest of the rocks, sticks, and bark that are in your kit. And they're all a little different. I think this piece of bark is interesting, so I'm going to add it. Just move this around a little until I'm happy. Remember, this is your world and you can do whatever you want. Next, I like this rock. And I adjust as I go. I don't think I want another stick, but I like these little rocks, so I add them. I like that big rock, and I adjust it so it's exactly where I want it to be. That's interesting. Let me put that in there. Next, I'm going to use the moss. Let's see what we have. And the piece is kind of big, so I cut it up into little pieces. Because I don't think I need it quite like that. Decide to use the little piece in the back. I add another one, so it kind of looks like a bush or something. Back there. I'm going to break it up some more, add it in the front, give it some dimension. And I think I want to add some moss under that piece of bark, so I just jam it in there and use my stick and my fingers to adjust how I want it to be. Sometimes it's difficult to make your own world, but just keep adjusting it and have patience with yourself until you're happy. Alright, perfection. Next, I decide to use the amethyst. Look how pretty that purple is. And I decide to sprinkle it in around the front. Use the spoon to kind of sprinkle it down the side. And I use my stick to move it around. Adjust everything. Add some more here. Last, I'm going to add these shiny little diamonds on top. And I decide to only sprinkle a few in. I like how that looks. Now, if you got my terrarium at a live event, you probably have a special item like a snail, ladybug, or a gnome. And I always like to add that last. So I'm going to take the little snail and put him right down on a rock where I think he's going to be happy. And once again, I use my skewer to adjust and kind of bump him up where he's going to live. And there he is. Do you think he likes his home? When you're happy with your terrarium, you can add the cork to the top as a roof. Remember to clean up your workspace when you're done. Find a spot on your shelf next to your other favorite items for your terrarium to rest. And I hope you had a lot of fun making this terrarium and that it brings you a lot of joy when you see it on your shelf. Until next time, I'll be making more.
Isn't